she came back with a quote of $30,000
to empty out the house.
Live behind decisions I chose. Peaks feel good and the valleys get low. Chains for the tires in the rain, hail, snow. It's like this everywhere that I go, everywhere that I go.
Hey everybody, it's Aima Kabani with your favorite broker,
Hussein Kabani. All right, guys. So if you watch some of our other stories, I don't know which order they're going to go in, but hey, this is actually a very cool story. And I think we were actually able to make a huge impact on someone's life over here, in my opinion. I always think we do huge things. So
it's good.
Yeah. So basically what ended up happening is that we ended up getting this very exclusive townhouse listing. Mm-hmm. Very, very nice, right across a golf course. The way that these houses are built and it's laid out is really, really, really nice. Luxury. So we started working with this seller. We positioned the property correctly on the market, as we always do. We market it. We get basically what we call a sign call. So basically someone sees that it's up for sale. They're calling us for more information.
Correct.
We basically booked the appointment with this potential buyer and we showed him the property. And he's looking around, really loves the whole thing, golfs across the street. And he just really loves the amenities of the whole area and having that access to the golf course. So, and loves the house overall. It's a perfect size for him because he's in a really big property right now. So we actually stood around the property for about an hour. Usually my showings are like 15 minutes, but we stood around for an hour, hour and a half almost.
Which is always a very good sign.
Yeah, very good sign. I love when people start touching furniture and sitting down. It's such a great sign.
Oh, when they step back a little bit and look at the house.
Yeah,
from, like,
outside.
10 feet away.
I love it. So we're basically inside and we're discussing the whole thing. And they basically tells me that he has like a bigger property in Pickering, but it's unfortunately his mother had passed away a few years ago, and they have a lot of furniture in the house, like a lot of antique stuff that his parents collected over time and whatever, and it's all there. And it's going to be very hard for him to make a transition like so quickly because his house is available for sale now. My sellers don't want to take a contract that says that, hey, we'll accept your agreement when you sell your house. We don't want to do something like that. And my sellers have somewhere else to be, so we need to actually get a deal done on the property. I just can't hold it for him. As nice of a guy he is. I can't hold on to it for him. So, but basically what I told him was when we were at the house is that, look, I understand that this is that, and he's been looking in this community. He specifically wants to be here. Yeah.
In fact, we actually had heard about him from the neighbors around that area, that there is one person that is particularly interested in being in that area. And it felt like the only holdback in his life was, I've got a lot going on in the house that I'm living in right now. It's too big. It's full of stuff. I need to figure out what I'm going to do where I am right now before I can even think about where I'm going to go next. I think that was his major stop, right?
Yeah, that was his major thing about the whole thing. So
he told you that and you're like, I'm the guy.
Yeah, we basically told him that, hey man, like we can actually help you coordinate all of this stuff. We know you have to get rid of a bunch of stuff. You have to pack, you have to get things moving and whatever else like that. But he wanted to do all of this in March. And I said, definitely this house is not going to be available for sale in March. So if you want this house, we got to take action sooner than later. And you know what? Such a nice gentleman. He actually did take the leap of faith with us. So we did write an offer on purchasing that property. We took a look at his house at the same time. We're overwhelmed when we walked into the house as well, because there's a lot of stuff that actually needed to be done.
Such a beautiful home. The exterior, the interior, everything
location,
was just,
everything.
It was just warm and cozy. Everything about that house was really nice, but it was filled with a lot of stuff that he obviously was not using.
Yeah. So basically what ended up happening is that he did move forward, purchase the townhouse, and then now we have to deal with his property. So basically what we were able to help him do was this. It was a bunch of furniture that he obviously everyone wants some kind of money out of these things, but he didn't overly care about it. He just really wanted to make sure that it didn't end up in the dump and someone actually got use out of it. If he can make a couple bucks at the same time, all the better. Great. But he really wanted to make sure it just didn't get wasted at the same time. So we actually contacted this company that we got a referral we found somehow or whatever else like that. And they actually came through and they said, yep, we can empty out everything. And I mostly had the conversation with this girl.
Yes. I don't want to say her company's name, but it started off as a very good conversation. I basically outlined like we were in a time crunch. So we need everything done by this week. There's a lot of stuff. We just need your help. And mind you, this was new to us too, because we never had to empty out a property to that extent and that quickly. So anyway, she was very comforting. We felt like an overwhelming amount of
comfort from her because she seems like she has this big team backing her up and she can get it done.
So she was great. She came, we walked through the house. Her note taking was so great. Like she had a good memory.
Detailed.
She was very detailed. She was walking
around. So was her quote.
Yeah. So anyway, we
How much was this quote?
She came back with a quote of $30,000
To empty out the house.
And again, like Hussein said, like we were like, oh my God, that's a lot of money. Like
So,
it could
but
cost
what
like a third of that
Yeah.
to get rid of everything. But then again,
But there was a big chunk of like cataloging and stuff like that. So we basically like, we don't like, there was a lot of antique items. So we're like, we don't need a catalog.
Yeah,
all of this
how they
stuff.
do it is they broke it down. Like $30,000 is a quote. This is what it includes. And we said, hey, you know what? Let's go through it. 30,000 is too much. We wouldn't want our client to pay that much. So we went through the quote and we said, okay, we may not need this. We're not going to need this. We're not going to need this. So we basically took out a bunch of stuff that we thought would be a waste of money. And
it came down to like 15 G's
15,000,
or something like that.
which to me is still a lot of money when you're
Sure.
trying to get rid of stuff. But I think the client was okay with it. He was comfortable. Again, great person. He just wanted it to be put to good use, and for that he was willing to pay that much. So we were like, okay, you know what? We'll do it like this. Then something came down. We had to take one more item out, and it brought the quote down even lower. And she just canceled. She had everything done. We talked about how it was going to be done, how long it was going to take, what we were going to go to do.
And she also was actually charging us a big premium on
For a
having
rush.
it done quickly.
Yes, almost $3,000, I think.
And she knew that it was a rush. And
Yeah.
you had a conversation with her, confirmed everything.
Yes.
And then she's like, give me the seller's
Yeah,
number.
so she was so kind. She said, we want some of the money as a deposit. So I said, okay, we're wonderful. I'll walk our client through that. And she said, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll walk him through it because I know what the quote says. I'm better at doing that. So I said, amazing. Like she even took that off of my plate. So I said, okay, here, well, this is the client's number. This is his email. You can walk him through all of this. And then she said she wanted the payment by noon, I think. And at 12:30, Hussein was like, can you follow up with her? And I said, she's got it handled. I said, I don't want to be the person that's micromanaging this great person. She is managing a lot of this stuff for us. So let's just like, I'll give her an hour to figure out, get everything sorted out. And I didn't follow up with her at 12:30. At 1 o'clock, we follow up with her. And she said, well, basically, because I didn't get my payment by noon, I've canceled this. We can't do this for you anymore. Which made me so upset. I think I almost cried.
We got into a fight.
We
about
got into
this
a
whole
fight
thing.
because he's like, you should have called him at 12:30 like I told you to. And from my point of view, again, I was trying not to micromanage this amazing person who's going to take care of so much stuff for us. Anyway, she basically canceled on us. We were really upset. We called our seller and we said, okay, well, this person is not going to be as helpful as we thought she was going to be. And we can dwell over, what happened, whose fault it was, or what went wrong. But we are still on a time crunch, and we still need to have your house emptied out by, the end of the week. So we said, let's just put that aside and let's just go find alternative solutions. And I'm such a big believer of this now, which is if something doesn't work out, there is always another option.
Yeah, just let it go.
Just let it go because
Quickly.
Solutions come around. It may not be the best, but it's a second best, or it could be better. But something always works out at the end of the day.
As long as you're focused on doing it.
And it did, and just through conversation, like how we're talking about it, this experience now, I think we were talking about what's happening at that time, which led us to connect with somebody else who connected us to somebody else. And we actually ran across a really cool company who have a farmhouse. I don't remember the location, but I'll definitely tell you. Yeah, they deal with antiques. So we'll write their name below this video somewhere. But they basically said, we sell antiques and we'll come through the house and we'll see what do we like. And they actually paid for some of the stuff.
They actually walked in. They came almost immediately.
Yeah.
They walked through the house and literally talked to our client in a very nice way and didn't want to be insulting to him and disrespect his furniture and whatnot. And basically, they just actually made cash offers. Okay, how about this? How about we give? They first asked him, how much do you want for it? And they're like, hey, listen, like if it was a market like this, they explained everything to him very nicely. And then actually gave him cash offers. Some of the stuff my client was saying, I was like, ask for more.
ask for more.
But
there was some great stuff in there, but they were bulky stuff. So I couldn't imagine that, people have a lot of space in their 700 square foot condos to keep these things now. But long story very short, again, they were such kind people. They were a couple. They actually paid to get their stuff out of the house into their warehouse, like on their own. They never charged us for anything. They paid for some of these things, and they basically said, hey, we know you're on a time crunch. We'll have everything done by the weekend. And that was it.
So after that, so basically the person that we replaced, that one person that was supposed to take care of everything, we ran across this antique person.
Yes.
They dealt with their stuff through our new stager contact, not that lady that messed us up. But through our new stager contact, we got a great referral for a mover that actually helped us. And we got a referral for somebody that can do like handiwork, patchwork kind of thing.
So even through this whole process, I think we came across a lot of great people that I think will make our business better in the future as well. And we got everything done that weekend.
And it looked sick,
Yeah.
like absolutely sick. Everything turned out really,
Yeah.
really nice. And I think we actually spent less of our clients' money in order to do
100%.
everything.
Yeah.
And it just turned out really, really well. Now the house went on the market.
Yes.
It showed really, really well. We ended up in a multiple offer situation. Again, we took an offer on a property that was conditional, and they basically just backed out on the deal too. So it was a conditional offer.
This has happened the most this year,
Yeah.
where offers have been accepted, people have changed their mind, or they had that condition, but then they used it
Yeah.
just to get out of the deal. But again, like they got out, someone else came along, and
and then while we were in multiple offer, there was another guy that was offering us pretty decent money for the house as well. So I tried to chase this guy down. I begged him, like, come on, let's go. I tried to do it in a nice and professional manner, not to look so desperate and whatever. But I'm like, we need to make this thing happen.
We
Like,
begged
let's go. But he kept lowballing me after that too. So we just kept getting lowballed on this house.
But again, like we found a really good buyer who
We found
deserves
the
that
right
house.
buyer.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, it worked out. The house is sold, and he's very happy.
Yeah, he's very happy. So
we're very happy.
Yeah, so, you know what I look at this transaction too is that look, we're not just out here helping people buy and sell real estate. The way I looked at it is that maybe I'm overstepping, okay, when I say this, but the thing is that we actually helped this gentleman figure out his life situation, his living situation, pretty much probably for the rest of his life. Do you know what I mean? Like he was carrying this baggage. They told us that they were trying to get rid of this stuff for like a year and figuring out a right way or whatever. But we just offered him that assistance and that assurity that, hey, like we're going to stand beside you. We're going to help make sure that everything gets done. And we're still there. The deal hasn't closed. We're still in communication with this person. We're still going to make sure everything goes well. There's still a move to happen and whatever else like that. So ultimately, we were really able to not just help this person buy and sell real estate, but we're able to help them sort out their lifestyle situation at the same time.
In a very short amount of time.
In a very, very short amount of time. So I think this was a huge success. Even like the property that this gentleman bought, those sellers were super happy with us.
Oh yeah, they are also a very
very nice
couple.
people.
So yeah, they're like I said, everything was so interconnected with each other, and it's like everything just fell where it needed to go.
Yeah, ultimately, I think like we connected all the dots on this thing, and we'll give ourselves a pat on the back. Like I think we did a really, really good job on this property. All right, guys. So that's our happy story.
Our fulfilling story of the year.
Until next time, remember one thing.
Get Kabani.
Get sold.
Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it, sold. Sell it, sell it, sell it, sell it.